Hey everyone, I'm Mike Sherrard, president of Apologetics Inc., formerly the C.S. Lewis Society, and I just wanted to take a minute to give you an update on what we've experienced this summer. Our speaking team during the summer, we get the chance to speak to literally thousands of young men and women all across the country. And our topics include things like why you matter, how you can trust the Bible, does science disprove God? We also talk on cultural issues like transgenderism and pornography and just a range of really meaningful issues. And my experience in delivering these kind of talks in the last, 10 plus years has been teenagers are grateful, so grateful. They'll say things like, "Why didn't anybody ever tell me this before?" Or every year I'll get a student to say something like, "Hey, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I always kind of thought Christians were dumb, and now I think differently." And over the last, 10 plus years of doing this kind of work, those were the same, the responses of the teenagers were always kind of in that same category. They'd After hearing a talk, they would ask a question, they would probe for more answers, they would express some doubts. And throughout the years, I would experience a young man or woman coming to me with some, opening up about something, a serious problem in their life. Um, and that was a pretty normal experience in apologetics ministry, people responding to the truth in meaningful ways. But something's different now. Um, this summer, I experienced, as did a number of other speakers, um, a really troubled generation. Like I said, in years past, I would have a student, typically share something maybe personal or sensitive. I had an overwhelming number of students sharing deeply troubling issues um, this year. Had two people talk about suicide. One person who told me his plan was to kill himself that very night. Had somebody opening up about abuse in the home. Somebody that was in I can't share that story. This summer was a burdening experience for our team. We left many speaking engagements with heavy hearts over the brokenness that exists in the younger generation. And of course, brokenness exists everywhere, but man, this summer did we see it. The next generation, they are just dealing with some serious issues. And our talks, what they do is they bring important issues into the light. You think of so much of the Christian experience, it's just one watered down cliche message after the next. Moreover, it's in an environment that does not invite questions. And so there's just a generation of young people who have very few opportunities to have a meaningful topic brought into the light and addressed with reason and respect. But when we do that, when apologists do that, it gives young adults permission for like the first time in their life to go, "Hey, I'm really dealing with this." And all that to say, this summer, man, was it a heavy, burdening experience, but it was also fuel for the fire for what we do. There are so many young men and women that are desperate to know what is true, and when we bring them truth, they respond. But we have more work to do. The Lord, with our ministry, is increasing opportunities. And He is sending people our way to meet those needs. Hopefully, you're aware this last year we hired two new speakers. We hired Alicia Wood, who comes with an impressive background and 10 years of apologetic speaking. Recently, just in August, we hired Matthew Middleburg. Matthew is an experienced apologist. He's the son of Mark Middleburg, who's an accomplished apologist in his own right. Mark's written a number of really helpful books on Christian apologists. And Mark also has done ministry with Lee Strobel for years. Matthew, in fact, calls Lee Uncle Lee. And we've added two fantastic speakers to our team this year. And we actually have the opportunity to add more. When I was hired about a year and a half ago, we did some initial planning on where we thought the Lord was taking the ministry, and we set some budgeting goals, and we're ahead of schedule. And for us to meet the opportunity set before us, we need to raise an additional 250,000 this year. which is exciting and whoa, what is the Lord doing? You ever have that experience when you're working towards something and you're following the Lord in faith, and then it starts happening and you're like, well, it's not that I didn't think this was going to happen, but it's happening. So it's an interesting time for us as a ministry. We are so burdened by the need. We're seeing people respond to the truth of the gospel when given in persuasive apologetic content. The Lord has hired us. The Lord has given us two new amazing people to hire to meet that need, and we have other opportunities set before us if the funding comes through. So that's what I want you to think about. The way that we meet this goal, which it is a big goal, $250,000, but the way that we meet this goal is through a lot of people giving a little and a few people giving a lot. If just the number of people that would watch this committed to $10 a month, that gets us almost all the way to our goal. But of course, that's not going to happen. Moreover, some of you have the means to write a six-figure check, and it would be to your delight and the glory of God to partner with us in that way. So would you please prayerfully consider how to financially partner with us as we seek to reach an entire generation with the truth, the goodness, and the beauty of Jesus Christ. This is something that we are called to do together, and it is a joy when we get to link arms in doing that. And so, as the Lord may lead you to partner with us in this mission, feel free to reach out if you want to talk. Even if you're at the I can only give $7 a month level, or you're going to write a check for $70,000, you want to hit us up and have a conversation about how we can partner together to reach this generation. Let's do it. It is a joy to serve this organization. It is a joy to serve the Lord, and He is meeting our needs as we move forward in the mission to see a generation captivated and transformed by the truth of Christianity.